My wife stared at me like I'd just confessed to a crime. "We need to talk," she said, her voice sharp enough to slice through the Sunday morning quiet. The living room, usually warm with the scent of coffee and our son's crayons scattered on the table, felt like a courtroom. I sat across from her, clueless, my heart already racing from the weight of her gaze. Emma, my wife of 10 years, was not one for theatrics. So when she slid a paternity test kit across the table, my world tilted. "I need you to take this," she said, her words cold, precise. "For your nephew, Ethan. I think you're his father." I laughed a short, incredulous bark because the idea was absurd. Ethan, my sister Claire's 6-year-old son, was as much my nephew as the sky was blue. But Emma's eyes didn't waver. They were dark, stormy, and brimming with a betrayal I didn't understand. "You think I cheated on you with Claire?" I asked, my voice cracking under the weight of the accusation. The room spun. My sister, my best friend since childhood, the one who'd shared bunk beds and secrets with me. How could Emma even think it? Her silence was worse than words. She folded her arms, lips tight, as if she'd already decided my guilt. "You've been spending so much time with her," she said finally. "Late nights, secret calls, those family dinners where I'm not invited. And Ethan, he looks like you. Tom, too much like you." My jaw dropped. Ethan, with his curly brown hair and dimpled grin, was a spitting image of Claire at that age. But now, through Emma's lens, every family resemblance was evidence of a sin I hadn't committed. I leaned back, trying to piece together how we'd gotten here. Emma and I had built a life together, 2 kids, a mortgage, a decade of love that wasn't perfect, but was ours. Claire, my older sister by 3 years, had always been part of that life. She'd moved back to town 2 years ago after her divorce, her ex-husband vanishing to God knows where, leaving her to raise Ethan alone. I'd stepped up uncle duties, sure, but also because Claire was family. I'd fixed her leaky pipes, taken Ethan to soccer practice, and yeah, maybe I'd spent a few late nights at her place, helping her navigate single motherhood. But cheating with my sister. The accusation was a gut punch. "Emma," I said, keeping my voice steady, "this is insane. Claire is my sister. Ethan is her son. You know this." But her eyes flickered with doubt, and I saw the cracks in our trust widening. "Then take the test," she said. "Prove it." I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand how she could believe something so vile. But the hurt in her eyes stopped me. This wasn't just suspicion, it was fear, raw and deep, that the life we'd built was a lie. I took the test that afternoon, my hands shaking as I swabbed my cheek. The lab promised results in 3 days, but those 3 days felt like a lifetime. Emma barely spoke to me. She moved through the house like a ghost, her silence louder than any argument. Our kids, Lily and Max, sensed the tension. "Why's Mommy mad?" Lily asked, her 8-year-old eyes wide with worry. I fumbled for an answer, my heart breaking at the thought of her innocence caught in this mess. Claire, when I told her, was horrified. "She thinks what?" She gasped, her voice a mix of outrage and disbelief. We were at her small apartment, Ethan playing in the next room, oblivious to the storm brewing. "Tom, how could she even?" She stopped, her face crumpling. Does she hate me that much? I didn't know how to answer. Emma and Claire had never been close. Emma's reserved nature clashed with Claire's loud, chaotic energy, but I'd never seen this coming. Claire hugged me, her grip tight, like we were kids again, facing the world together. "We'll fix this," she whispered, but I wasn't so sure. The days dragged on, each one heavier than the last. I replayed every moment of the past 2 years, searching for what Emma saw that I didn't. The late-night calls, mostly Claire, venting about Ethan's tantrums or her dead-end job. The family dinners, just me, Claire, and Ethan, because Emma often worked late shifts at the hospital. But doubt crept in, not about my fidelity, but about how I'd let my marriage slip. Had I been too absent, too focused on helping Claire? Had I missed the signs that Emma was unraveling? The results came on a rainy Wednesday. Negative. I wasn't Ethan's father. I stared at the email, relief flooding me, but it was tinged with anger. I hadn't needed a test to know the truth, but Emma had. When I showed her the results, she didn't cry or apologize. She just nodded, her face unreadable. "Okay," she said, and walked away. That single word cut deeper than her accusations. Okay after tearing our family apart. That's all she had. I couldn't let it go. That night, I cornered her in the kitchen. "Talk to me. Emma, why did you believe this? Why didn't you trust me?" She looked at me, and for the first time in days, I really saw her, exhausted, scared, human. "I found a letter," she said quietly, "in your jacket, from Claire. It said, 'Thank you for being there, for being everything I need.'" I I didn't know what to think. I remembered that letter. Claire had written it after I'd spent a weekend helping her move. A thank you note for being her rock. Innocent, familial, but to Emma, it was a smoking gun. "Why didn't you ask me?" I said, my voice breaking. "Why go straight to this?" She looked away, tears spilling. "Because I was afraid of the answer. Because I felt you pulling away, Tom, and I couldn't lose you." The truth unraveled over hours of raw, painful conversation. Emma's insecurities had festered her long hours. My time with Claire, the distance that had grown between us. She'd seen Ethan's resemblance to me and spun a story in her mind. Fueled by fear and exhaustion, I wasn't blameless either. I'd taken her trust for granted, assumed she'd always know my heart. We'd both let our marriage fray at the edges. The next morning, we sat Claire down. Emma apologized, her voice trembling, but Claire just hugged her. "We're family," Claire said. "We mess up, but we fix it." Ethan ran in, oblivious, asking for pancakes. We laughed, the sound fragile but real. It wasn't the end of the hurt, but it was a start. Rebuilding trust took time. Emma and I went to counseling, learning to talk instead of assume. I made a point to be present, to show her she was my priority. Claire and Emma started spending time together, slowly bridging the gap. Ethan remained the joyful chaos of our lives, his laughter a reminder of what we'd almost lost. But the scar remained. Trust, once broken, doesn't heal seamlessly. I still catch Emma's eyes lingering on me sometimes, a flicker of doubt she tries to hide, and I wonder if I've fully forgiven her for believing the worst. Yet, we keep going, because love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice, one we make every day. What would you do if trust was shattered in your family? Was Emma wrong to doubt, or was her fear justified? Share your thoughts. Where do you stand on truth, loyalty, and forgiveness?